Republic Act 7160, or the Local Government Code of 1991, Section 17, empowers all local government units to create means for revenue generation to augment its internal revenue allotment and gradually become self-reliant and self-sustaining. With this, the creation of local economic enterprises arose. However, studies reveal that most of the local economic enterprises all over the country operate at a loss, except for a very few that are properly managed. One of these is the Tagum City Economic Enterprises. It is known for its best practices in managing its economic enterprises due to its excellent supervision, as reported by the Asian Development Bank and the Department of Interior and Local Government. How did Tagum able to achieve this? Before 1999, Tagum City Economic Enterprises was only a section under the Municipal Treasurer's Office. It had two enterprises, the market where the Tagum City Cultural and Trade Center is now located, and the old slaughterhouse, situated beside the Bonifacio Creek. Before, it experienced the ugly side of the local economic enterprises due to strong political intervention. Because of this, the enterprise's income was not sufficient to support its expenses and was heavily subsidized by the municipality. It became more a liability than an asset. When RA 7160 was introduced to the realm of public service way back 1991, the fate of the enterprises slowly evolved from a solely service-oriented enterprises to a balanced service and income provider of both the citizens and the government. This change became more timely when the Pereiras family donated a 7-hectare land to the municipality of Tagum, represented by its current mayor, Honorable Victorio R. Suwaybagi Jr., last October 30, 1989, and was supported by Municipal Ordinances Number 9 and Number 25 Series of 1996. The lot was intended for the construction of the Tagum City Public Market and Terminal, because the old public market was already congested and was no longer enough to accommodate the growing needs of Tagumeños. In 1998, under Mayor Ray T. Uy's corporate way of governance, the city government of Tagum intensified its move in separating the enterprises from the city treasurer's office to have a clear picture if the enterprises could stand on its own without being subsidized by the general funds and gauge the cost-benefit ratio. Mayor Alan L. Relion, who then was a first-termer Sangguniang Panglungsod member, was the chairman of the Economic Enterprises, authored the creation of the Economic Enterprises Office through City Ordinance Number 3 Series of 1999 with the assistance of Mr. Roleto Trinidad, the first official Economic Enterprises manager. They consolidated the various ordinances of the economic programs of the city and incorporated new provisions to suit the need of the existing facilities. This gave birth to City Ordinance Number 66 Series of 2002, an ordinance adopting the Code of Economic Enterprises of Tagum City. This is the first ever comprehensive code which encapsulated the management and operation of the 6 enterprises: Tagum City Public Market, Tagum City Livestock Auction Center, Tagum City Overland Transport Integrated Terminal, Tagum City Cultural and Trade Center, Tagum City Slaughterhouse, and the Tagum City Public Cemetery. The personal services limitation was also given attention and included in the code to get rid of the connotation of being the safety net or dumping site of the politically accommodated employees. City Ordinance Number 66 Series of 2002 was revised in 2006 through City Ordinance Number 223 Series of 2006 to suit the ever-changing demand of the clients and the city as a whole. Along with the revisions of the code coupled with the challenge of increasing target, several enterprises were also added to cope with the target income, such as the Tagum Vegetable Throbbing Zone, known as Bagsakan, the Laray Group for Vegetables, Root Crops, and Other Common and Seasoned Fruits, Tagum City Free Market Day, or Tabo sa Tagum, and the Night Market in the city of Tagum. City Ordinance Number 66 Series of 2002 was revised in 2006 through City Ordinance Number 223 Series of 2006 to suit the ever-changing demand of the clients and the city as a whole. Along with the revisions of the code coupled with the challenge of increasing target, several enterprises were also added to cope with the target income, such as the Tagum Vegetable Dropping Zone or Bagsakan, the Laray Group for Vegetable, root crops, and other common in-season fruits, Tagum City Free Market Day, and the night market in the city of Tagum. From 1999 up to 2016, the income continues to heighten from 33 million on 1999 to 103 million last 2016, with an increase of 209.11%. From merely estimated 35 employees in 1999, manpower of the office is now pegged at 303 employees as of March 2017. The most notable output of the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is anchored on consistently contributing an average of more than 50% of its total income to the general funds. This savings was used for the implementation of other programs and projects benefiting the entire citizenry of Tagum. The most notable output of the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is anchored on consistently contributing an average of more than 50% of its total income to the general funds. This savings was used for the implementation of other programs and projects benefiting the entire citizenry of Tagum. How this became possible? The management of Tagum City Economic Enterprises from Mr. Roleto Trinidad to Mr. Ruel C. Brillante and the acting City Economic Enterprises Manager, Ms. Mary Grace D. Tirante, with the full support of the local chief executive and the rest of the city officials, embedded different strategies and innovations to achieve collection efficiency and reduce expenses without sacrificing client satisfaction. Some of the notable innovations were implementation of monthly stall rental collection, establishment of collectors' booth, stall rentals periodic review, stakeholders' participation and collaboration, issuance of terminal pass to buses, properly monitoring of electricity and water usage, imposition of transfer and occupancy fees, computerization of lease contract and records. When Honorable Alan L. Relion, DPA, PhD, won the mayoral race on May 16, 2013, the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office became diverse as it responded to the Eagle Wings program, aiming to touch all aspects of public service. Through Ms. Mary Grace D. Tirante, Public Services Officer 4, and Officer in charge of the Office of the Economic Enterprises Manager, the office intensified the revenue generation with a tighter internal control system and monitoring. The office thrust, aside from its main mandate, is now aligned with the LG's flagship Eagle Wings program for education, agriculture, livelihood and tourism development, genuine safety and security, economy and affordability of taxes, wellness, sports and health, infrastructure, transportation and communication development, NGOs, GOs, and POs and cooperative development, God-centered and good governance, and social services. Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is deemed to be successful in revenue generation after it became an independent office and being recommended by the Department of Interior and local government as worth emulating office. With this, the office was recognized and received several awards from local to international institutions. All these achievements of the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office will never be possible without its team players, its human resources from the supervisors, administrative and support services personnel, collectors, maintenance, and security management officers, to the retirees, and to our co-employees who already departed and joined the Almighty Creator, who also contributed to what the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office now. Let us continue to soar high with utmost commitment and dedication to our work, backed up by the local chief executive, the 7 city council, offices and citizens of Tagum, and most especially the Most High, the Almighty Father. Indeed, the story of the metamorphosis of the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is a history of Tagumpay. Indeed, the story of the metamorphosis of the Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is a story of Tagumpay. Indeed, the story of the metamorphosis Indeed, the story of the metamorphosis of Tagum City Economic Enterprises Office is a story of Tagumpay.